I guess my statement is just really happy to win another championship. I, have many comments for the team over the course of the weekend, but one of them is I think the older you get, you really start to realize that you only have one opportunity per year to do something like this. And losing out on that opportunity was a big deal to us because we felt like we had such a talented team. So finally getting to play again this year, starting in February, it was so awesome. So we're just thrilled to be able to bring another trophy back to East Lansing for Michigan State University.
Matt, go ahead.
You got to remember to unmute. Sorry. Congratulations, Stacy. I just wanted to ask, obviously, you mentioned not being able to do this last year, but in your program, this is winning these championships. This is something that's become expected from you guys, or it's your expectation, going into the season. I feel like I know this answer, but does it ever not get old does it always feel like that first time when you guys win a championship?
Yes, it never gets old. And, going into yesterday, I kind of thought, okay, I got 25 years under my belt. I've done this 7 times. I'm like, let's keep the emotions under control today, or try to, and see. For me personally, I can't let my players know like what's going on inside of me, because I would not be a good coach if I did that. But it really is 6 hours of like feeling sick to your stomach, because golf is, as I explained to a lot of people, it's when I coach, I don't get to see all 6 of them at the same time. So Caroline, my assistant, and I, there's only 2 of us for 6 young people. So at any one time, if someone makes a mistake, we may not be there, we may not see it. We're looking at golf stat on our phones and saying, oh my gosh, what happened? And unfortunately, that didn't happen to us this weekend. It was more, okay, another birdie. But no, it's an amazing feeling, especially when you've got such a cool group of young women who all are on the same page and want the same thing, are willing to work, are willing to do what was needed to do to get us through, the COVID protocols to keep us safe this year. So no, it never gets old. I'll take as many as I can get before I retire.
And I just want to ask you about Valerie individually, obviously, as well as she played. If you could just talk about the way she's played all year, really, and then of course this past weekend.
Yeah, she's an amazing player, and she is an amazing person too. And the way she's played is awesome. I mean, she's ranked 60th in the world right now. She has a lot of goals, for herself that are set. And she's willing to do what it takes to not only be a great student athlete at Michigan State and in the college ranks, but also as an LPGA Tour player. That's her goal, and she has tunnel vision as to how she's going to get there. And Caroline and I are just excited that we have a player, of her caliber that is on this team that wants that. And it's a coach's dream to coach, not only her, but all of her teammates. She struggled the first day, and was, it was disappointing to her, but Caroline and I were like, she's going to come back with a vengeance the next 2 days, which she obviously did, because, she knows she's our low stroke average. She's the best player on the team. And, in her mind, I think she knows she didn't do her job the first day, but that's why we have a team. And I think that's what was so beautiful about this championship, is it wasn't just 4 of them that won it. And sometimes that does happen. In this case, every single player contributed something. So it truly was a team effort for all 6 of our Spartans, and it was great.
Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thanks.
Audrey.
Yes, Stacy, hi, congratulations. I want to know about this course in general and why you guys are able to kind of own this TPC Rivers Bend course. Why is that?
I think really I'd have to credit Sarah Burnham for that. She shot 63 there, which was the school, the course, and the conference record. And we've just kind of been like riding those coattails since we won there with Sarah, and she shot that 63. And I think it's just a constant reminder for all of us what's possible on that golf course. That was part of my speech yesterday in the van. The last thing I said was, obviously all my players look up to Sarah. She's full exempt status on the LPGA Tour right now. She actually finished 27th this past weekend out in LA. But my last saying to them was, just remember your great Spartan teammate, Sarah Burnham, made 11 birdies on this golf course, 7 on the front 9 alone. So, this was after I gave them the list of who was in the van on, yesterday and how many wins they had not only as Spartans, but also as junior players. So, I just think, like I said, I would credit Sarah and what we started out with at TPC. And, just as with the academic awards that we've been able to win, just as with the Big Ten championships, there's a philosophy and a belief in this program that we recruit these kids to win. And when we're recruiting them, that's what we are explaining to them. We feel that you have the ability to help us continue to win Big Ten championships. That's why we're bringing you here. And they come here and they are the kids that want to do the work and believe in that philosophy. And that's how we keep winning.
And, unfortunately, we weren't able to be there. And so what was just the overall feel as that you had the trophy in your hands and, you guys were just kind of the culmination of the whole weekend?
Yeah, it was awesome. I'll say yesterday morning, being in the van is you get a beat on how they're feeling. And, sometimes it's like I feel very uncomfortable if the van is not noisy or they're not talking. And, it's easy for them to do that now with the AirPods and the phones. But yesterday when we were driving to the golf course, we actually had an hour delay. We don't go out to restaurants, so everything we do is pick up. So we picked up our breakfast from this little Half Moon Cafe place in Mason, Ohio. And we were eating in the van and then found out that we had an hour before we were an hour off. So it was an hour delayed. So in my mind, I'm like, oh boy, okay, what are we going to do with these kids to keep them, kind of revved up for the next hour? Cause now we're kind of off track. They got up a little too early and nothing to do with our fault. It was just, there was fog yesterday morning. We pulled into the golf course probably like 20 minutes early than we needed to be there. And I didn't want to give the speech that early because I wanted them just to kind of sit there, and all of a sudden the music started playing. And I was like, okay, the blaring music is always a good sign. Then the van door opens and now they're virtually hanging out the van door, dancing and singing. And Eureka, our Japanese player, is an incredible dancer. She has a lot of skills and moves. So it's like the kids are so circled around her and she's dancing in the center. And I'm like, it's going to be a good day. They feel calm. They feel collected. And what I said to them also in the van was, those 8 people in the van own 11 Big Ten championship rings. And Poth, our 5th-year senior, owned 2 of those, and Eureka 1. So I already had 2 players that had already won Big Ten championships at that golf course. So, that's just, it says a lot about, bringing Poth back for a 5th year and just having the knowledge of how to do it and what we were going to expect from the course.
Thank you. Congrats again.
That was a long answer. Sorry.
That's okay. No, I like the detail.
Fred.
Hi, can you hear me? Probably not.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, you can. Hi, Stace. Sorry I dressed up for this for you. Congrats. We've talked 700 times over the years about the expectations in your program, but while you may have expected this, you weren't the favorite. Was that any different or motivating at all?
I think that what I just tried to instill in the team this year is that the rankings this year really didn't matter because the fall season was once again taken away from us. So instead of having this huge piece of work, body of work that encompassed the fall and the spring, the rankings are only from the spring. So there was a lot less rounds being calculated. And we did go through a little bit of a rough patch there in March with the team. We kept a couple players, 2 of my best players at home, due to their performance. And, I'm not just going to take kids along because I know they're the best players. We all have to learn lessons in life that we've got to do our job, and just had those couple players that I felt I was willing to sacrifice the tournaments we were playing in at that time to make sure that everyone understood that they're being brought here for a job and we need to fulfill those obligations on the golf course. So I don't think none of us were really worried about the rankings, but there were 4 teams that were ranked quite a bit ahead of us. And, to me, it's sports, and that's why we all love sports so much, is because anything can happen if you believe in yourself and you believe in your teammates. And I think that without a doubt, that culture is very present in our program, and it always helps us in the end.
But did it motivate you at all that you weren't the favorite?
No, I really didn't care. The only thing I did care about was we had to play in the second pairing. So normally, so the top 3 teams in the ranking play together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we were actually 5th. And so I didn't like that very much, that we had to play in the second wave of pairings, but we took care of that after the first day.
And forgive me if this came up, I've jumped on a tad late, but this is, I know Mary is always on your mind, but this is the first one since she left us. What kind of feeling did you have for her after this?
It was hard. Yesterday we wore shirts, our Michigan State shirts, and we had Mare on the side of our arm. And, just a good reminder. And, the players on the team right now didn't know Mary as well. But I'm always reminding them of who she was and what she did for us. And without Mary, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I think what was really, really, really special yesterday was Valerie won the Mary Fossum Award for the first time since Sarah Burnham did in 2018. So I think that kind of brought it full circle to the team, is that, wow, this woman has the only Big Ten, special award named after her. And just to see Valerie with that trophy in her hands was pretty cool. And, sad that I'm not going to be able to buy the ring for her this year and give it to her, but I know that she's watching from above, and I know that she is forever proud of our program and what we've done.
Okay, thanks. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Nate.
Congrats, Stacy, on the title. I'm just curious, after not getting last year's tournament, curious if you can just recall back to maybe the first meeting back, or were there other signs this year that kind of showed you as a coach just the hunger that some of these players were playing with after not getting that opportunity a year ago?
Well, yeah, I think we all felt like we got robbed of an opportunity because Coach Izzo and I have a little competition going at Michigan State. We're trying to see who can win the most Big Ten championships before we retire. And Tom got that opportunity last year to play, and they won. Mm-hmm. And so I always tell him I've got the asterisk because we didn't get to play last year. So I'm still one behind him, but I'm determined to catch up to him. But the determination and what these kids want to do is ever present. I mean, we make sure that they have those characteristics when we recruit them. And, when we met this fall, not knowing that our season was going to once again be canceled, the goal is always to win the Big Ten championship and put ourselves in a position to win a national championship. And then it was like, once again, rug pulled from under us. We didn't play in the spring. In the fall. So finally getting that opportunity this spring, I think made them hungrier. And I think it was just such a joy to be on the road, because we have been testing 6 to 7 days per week. We tested at 8:30 this morning again. And it has been taxing on all of us in many, many different ways. And you just don't know how COVID has affected each player. My freshman from Argentina said to me 3 weeks ago that she's very worried about this coming fall semester because she has no idea where any of the classrooms are, because she's never walked to a classroom. My older players, who are well aware of what college life should be like, and football games, basketball games, busyness on campus, they miss that. I mean, now they've missed that for a year and a half. And, they know that the time is ticking. They only have so much time here. And so we've just tried to do the best that we can. When we get on the road, like, it is about having fun and enjoying each other's company. And it really, truly has been a blessing being on the road with them, because I really feel it's the one time that we are together, we are not testing, and we're happy, and we're doing what we love to do, which is play golf and represent Michigan State University.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Anything else for Stacy?
Just one. Can you hear me?
Fred, Fred, go ahead, and then you, Audrey.
Have you corresponded with Izzo since? I assume you have.
Actually, this is the first time that he hasn't called me yet, so I don't know what's going on.
He's getting jealous.
He must. he must be busy. So I'm expecting a call sometime today. But
Okay.
yes, normally him and Coach D'Antonio would call us in the van ride on the way home. But we had a great van ride home yesterday. It was late. Athletic director, Mr. Beekman, was waiting for us at the Lash Center when we pulled in last night. With the tunes were blaring, the green lights were on in our van, and it certainly was a fun time. So I expect to talk to Tom sometime today.
All right.
I was just curious, Stacy, about the selection show on Wednesday. Do you guys have any plans for that, or what are your plans for that?
Yes, we'll be at the Lash Center, socially distanced with masks on, watching it. And, you know, it's hard to say this year. We've got Ohio State, Louisville, LSU, and Stanford. Poth, my fifth-year senior, is gunning for Stanford. She wants to go to California. I always prepare myself to go the furthest place away because that's where we always seem to be sent. But you know, you don't ever have any inkling of where you're going to be sent to. We like to think as conference champions, we'll go somewhere where we can drive, but we don't know that. So right now in my mind, I'm just formulating plans for no matter where we go, what can we do to, you know, go a day early, play maybe one of like the most special golf courses in that area or something like that. So Wednesday at 2, we'll know our destiny.
All right, awesome, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, I think we're all set. Stacy, Valerie's
Okay.
here, so we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for all your